Looks like monkey ears on the floor and fat cat's on the bed. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Oh, yeah. Happy cat. All right. Come on. There it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Thursday. Woo! We got ourselves a new hype date coming tomorrow. I should probably bring up the actual GameStop thing I was talking about. That would help, wouldn't it? Ding, bing, 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 bing. GameStop posted something yesterday that made everybody go, And let's just, oops, that's still Google Earth. We don't want Google Earth. We want the Chrome, right? The Chrome. There we go. All right. So GameStop made this announcement here and made it look like it's a photocopy of a actual press release. So this is GameStop, power the players. GameStop, also known as the greatest retailer of video games, trading cards, and more, hereby issues an official, binding, and extremely serious recommendation that customers refrain from visiting any GameStop location this Friday, September 26th. This is not a reverse psychology marketing stunt. One. So notice the footnotes. Publishers have unknowingly created a perfect storm of hype surrounding several of gaming's most beloved IPs. Friday, September 26th is the date of multiple highly anticipated releases that are sure to attract many enthusiastic customers. Pokemon Evolutions Collection, Booster Packs, Elite Trainer Boxes, and more. See Exhibit A. Footnote 2. Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Doom of Dimensions Collection Exhibit B. Magic the Gathering Spider-Man Collection Exhibit C. EA Sports FC 26 Exhibit D. With a third footnote. A free Pokemon promo card for spending $15, Exhibit E. The combined release of these products may result in excessive lines, chance of EA Sports in the game at unsafe decibel levels, and total depletion of inventory faster than you can say power to the players. Now, therefore, GameStop, its affiliates, our associate Greg, and assorted plushies assume no liability and make no warranties express implied that you will A. find parking, B. acquire product, or C. have a really great time and make a ton of friends, although many people do. For additional disclaimers, terms, and conditions, or to ignore our warnings entirely, visit our website and find a GameStop near you. GameStop stores, blah, 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 blah. Footnote 1. It is. So, that's not a reverse psychology marketing stunt. And then they say it is a reverse psychology marketing stunt. Footnote 2. Score 15% trade bonus on your PSA graded 8 plus cards. So, you get a little bonus on your graded cards. And then pro membership required. At footnote 3, you lost the game. Now, folks are reading just the bold prints here and pulling what they want out of there. Things like warrants, warranties, excessive lines, depletion, and the footnote, you lost the game. And they're piecing together that something's happening Friday. Which, you know, if you look at the calendar, and if you want to maintain the nulls of a bankrupt company, you got to wait 2 years of ownership before you can, realize those nulls. That 2 years comes up with the confirmation of the effective date of the plan, which was September 29th, 2023. So if you're going to make an announcement, say for the 29th or 30th, for people to get their shares back, or new shares, I should say, in their DK Butterfly holdings, you would make that announcement, say, Friday after close, or Monday and Tuesday, and then those folks suddenly get their shares, which means they qualify for the date of record for the distribution of the warrants. Well, there's your hype date, and perhaps tomorrow we'll all be severely disappointed when it doesn't happen. But that's what the internet's talking about, so we'll mention it here for all of you. They show the Exhibit A, B, C, and D, or D and E, sorry. And so there's your hype date stuff, and that's what you got. So, oh well, shit. I didn't finish the news, but I left the outro on the intro. Well, there we go. There's your intro for you. An accidental intro doesn't count, does it? Even though I didn't mean to do it. Other big news is Pete Hegseth has announced to everyone that he's going to call in over 800 generals and admirals, have them all come to one spot, a military base here in the U.S., for a meeting, a very important meeting. This has never been done. No one has ever done this because it's stupid. You don't want to take all of your best military minds and your leadership and put them in all one spot while announcing to the world that you're doing that. It's kind of why we don't do Pearl Harbor type stuff anymore. We take the entire Pacific Fleet and put it in one spot. You just don't do that. Anyway, Hegseth is bringing them all together. He won't say why he's bringing everyone together. My guess is he wants 800 generals and admirals clapping for him or something. And my second guess is that he's going to announce that he's like merging all sorts of units together that have nothing to do with each other, and he's going to make military readiness absolute garbage because he's a drunk idiot. So I guess we can look forward to whatever dumb shit he's got coming. And good news, the Mariners clinched the American League West yesterday, and Cal Raleigh hit his 59th and 60th home runs. For all of you Europeans who are still awake right now, it's good news for you. You guys get to hear about baseball for a moment. In the last 21 games, the last 3 weeks or so, the Mariners have allowed the second fewest runs and have had the highest production offense in all of baseball. They've won 16 of the last 17 games. In more funny news, when the Detroit Tigers were playing at Yankee Stadium back on September 11th, the players on the bases were doing the Donald Trump like jerking off dudes dance, and the Detroit Tigers were 10 games up in the American League Central. They've lost 9 of their last 10. They moved into second place, and if they lose one more game, they might not make the playoffs entirely. So, everything Trump touches dies. So let's go out there in the baseball field, pretend like we're jerking off some NBA centers. And so there's your news. And I will hit the intro right now, but I already did that part. So now I don't know what to do. I just pretend like I'm doing intro, and I stare off into space, and I scratch the cat's butt, because that's what you do when the intro's playing. You scratch the cat's butt and get distracted, and you poke the monkey dog in the face, right? You're staring at me as if you're getting a treat, but you're not getting a treat right now because no one's demanded one from me. So you can stare at me all you want, floor dog. All right, the imaginary intro is over, and here we go. Let's go to the top of the chat. I'll sip of water first. Hydrating. Daniel Campbell, me. He's the first one in there. And Lyco Crypto says chicken dinner. Daniel Campbell says yes, me. And the super chat just came in from Skirt X2. Happy birthday, HW. Any hype for the 29th for BBBY? That's kind of what people are thinking with this GameStop thing, that but I don't know. I mean, I did say months ago that the hype date, that the date of MOAS is going to be September 30th. And so I'm just going to go with that still. It's September 30th. That's our date. If we get some sort of announcement after close on Friday, that would be spectacular. But just like with the Rapture, no man shall know the date. Just going to happen when it happens, I think. And we shall be left to be surprised and bewildered and befuddled by the chaos around us. So that's what I got going. So there you go, Skirt. We're just, sitting, waiting, masturbating, doing whatever we can. Zio, my god, dude with nub. 3 hype date dud time. Yes. Dana Campbell, munch, munch, munch. And why was Jamie down today? Crime? I think they're trying to suppress the price. They don't get any gamma for next week going into the date of record. Let's see here. Refresh that guy. So yeah, we're down 25, 27. I think Max Payne's 25. I have the Max Payne in here. Max Payne currently is 25. No, Max Payne's $26. So we're currently below Max Payne, which means you might expect to get a little gamma ramp or a little push tomorrow to get up to Max Payne. So we only have 13,000 calls currently in the money. There's 134,000 out of the money. We have, let's switch this sucker to September 26th. We have some big numbers at 27. Got 27,000. I might as well put this thing up here so you guys see what I'm talking about. We've got big numbers at 27. Okay numbers at 9. So we got 13,000 in the money. We have potential to put another 10,000 or so in the money if we get to 26. And if we get 27, we could put another 25, 26,000 in. So it could be a couple million shares. Nothing like last week where they put 7 million shares in the money. Not at the moment anyway. You might be able to get into that range if you get up to like 28, 30, somewhere in there. But my guess is that the powers that be are going to try and keep it around $26 as best they can. Market at max pain. Don't go anywhere else from there. And then we'll see what happens next week. Man, Brendan Wells, help you BY. Just did that. Nathan Scott, hey yo, just wanted to say thanks for making my afternoons at work much more tolerable. You keep me up to date and level-headed. Good on you, H Dog. Thank you. Thank you. Monkey, did you say thank you? Cat, say thank you. Did you say thank you? And Danny Campbell, I sold 1,000 shares of Palantir for GME warrant dry powder. Nice. Nice, right? Nice. You think I'm keep talking to you because you think you're going to get something out of me, don't you? But no one has asked for it yet except you, and that doesn't count. No, it does not. Okay. And Chris Taylor, first on thumbs up. Excellent. Dana Campbell, if needed. Oh, for dry powder. Nathan Scott, also headed home to Mississippi this week to visit the fam. Wish me luck. It's been a few years, and this administration wasn't here the last time I went. I've not been to Mississippi in so long. I need to go down. I've said sister lives in New Orleans, and I need to go down and visit. Maybe we'll make it to Mississippi at some point. I've not done it. I've not done it, Monkey. What do you think? Huh? You want to go to New Orleans? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where your heritage is from. We can go to Catahoula Parish, and you can like chase a boar in the bog, right? I don't think you can take one down anymore, not having the extra leg. But we should do that. That'd be good for you, right? It'd be good for you to like return home to where your ancestors came from. The red wolves and the greyhounds that made your kind, huh? Yeah? Would that be good? Catahoula Parish, Mississippi, New Orleans, the whole thing? Well, good luck, Nathan Scott. Nathan Scott, me liked as well. The thumbs up. Polestar says, speaking of Polestar, who always likes to go over into the multi-stream. I forgot to put the multi-stream on. I always forget to do. I always just do the multi-stream naturally. Okay, so if you're on the Twitch side, I can now see your comments. Polestar, what hype about tomorrow? Thought new date was the 30th. Well, tomorrow, the hype date suspected is that there will be the announcement for things we get on the 29th or 30th. That's the hype date. So I guess it's like Christmas Eve to Christmas type thing, or New Year's Eve to New Year's Day type thing. It's the hype to the hype. It's Hype Eve, I think. And Joe Finero says, let's go. Murphy Turf Studios. Happy birthday, Big H. Going out for my birthday dinner tonight at a fancy steakhouse and took the day off tomorrow for app. Should I get beef tartare or shrimp cocktail? Well, you're going to the steakhouse, right? So, I mean, I guess the question is, do you want to be all beef? Or do you want to mix it up and do a little surf and turf, right? You do the land, sea, and air. Get yourself something from the sea, get some chicken, and do some steak. But, I'll eat shrimp cocktail. I'll eat beef tartare. I'll eat them all the time. So you really can't get me down with any of those things. You know what? How about this? I'll ask it specifically, should you get the beef tartare? And it says, chances aren't good. So me thinks you get the shrimp cocktail. Boom. The 8-ball is spoken. And Dana Campbell says, patience is virtue. Yes. Polestar. Watch the new South Park. Really hammered Brendan Carr. Even had him giving a Nazi salute. I have not seen it yet. I have to watch it on the internet, so it'll be tonight, right? It comes out on the streaming tonight. So I will watch that this evening. Ooh, Monkey. Are you excited? Oh, boy. Huh? Yeah. Okay, I'll watch that tonight. And then over on the Twitch side, Polestar says they made Brendan Carr a full fascist Trump bootlicker on South Park and hinted at JD wanting Trump to move on so become president. Good. Good. And Danny Campbell, 84 years worth of patience. Pulsar has no more patience. Time to do something. I agree. Pulsar also says even the nubs are gone at this point from twiddling just bloody bone. Yeah, just like going to like twiddle thumbs and this is all you see. It's just phantom limb syndrome. Bill Coyne says 73 years of patience. Oh, newbie. And Dan Campbell wants to know when Cat. Dan says I would think he shows up soon. It is interesting that he's not posted anything since wasn't the last post he did the Computer Monitor Time magazine thing? That was what, December or January? That's a while. That's a while for him to be silent on these things. He did unfollow Ryan Cohen recently, so that was make of that what you will. And Polestar, thoughts on Italy and Spain sending ships to protect Gaza flotillas. Seems only the USA will never recognize Palestine. Israel controls USA. I think it's good. I think if you have NATO ships there, they won't do anything to the folks in the flotilla. I think the problem is Likud. And it's always been Likud. Ever since Ariel Sharon took over and the Intifada happened, it's just been a nightmare. They had signed peace treaties. Things are going well. Itzhak Rabin got assassinated. Things were still calm after that, and Likud came into power. And during the aughts, 2007, 2008, Likud signed a deal. This is a shake hand deal with Hamas to basically wipe out any moderates or leftists within Palestinian organizations. Just killed them all, right? Just got rid of them all. And then Hamas, pretending they were moderates in their election in 2007 or 2008, they're like, we're moderates. We're a moderating force. We're changing whatever. Elect us. And they got into power and they never allowed another election again. And during that time, they got much, much more extreme and more brazen, and they controlled with an iron fist in Gaza. While that's going on, Netanyahu is sending briefcases full of cash across the checkpoints into Gaza for Hamas. So he's literally funding Hamas. Netanyahu's funding Hamas. I don't know if you guys remember this. I can pull it up here. It was reported on by many folks. Briefcases full of cash. Hamas, Netanyahu. Okay. Israel got suitcases of cash to Hamas. That's. I want to go not to 2023. I want to go to the one that was reported much earlier than that. 2025. I'm going to put. While I do that, I'm going to do minus 2023 and minus 2025 because I want to show that it's been going on for a long time. Here we go. Okay, I gotta do minus 2024 also because now it's 2020. Okay. Minus 2024. Give me all the. Okay, Netanyahu can no longer pacify Gaza with Qatari cash. So basically, Netanyahu was claiming that he's like, oh, if I just keep giving money to Hamas, then they're going to be good. That was never the intention of anyone's side. What I think Netanyahu and Likud wanted was, if you have a big enemy and you can point to the boogeyman at all times, you say, hey, there's a boogeyman right there. And you should be scared for your lives, and only I can protect you from the boogeyman. But you keep feeding the boogeyman. Keep feeding him, make him bigger and stronger and scarier. Because that's the only way you can win elections. And you have to win elections because if you're not in power, you're going to prison for corruption, right? Because he's been convicted multiple times by the courts for all sorts of corruption. And I think the boogeyman was this deal with the devil. And he got way too big and way too powerful and turned on the master that was feeding him. And then you had something like October 7th happen, which is way beyond, launching a couple of rockets that get hit by the Iron Dome. That's, no big deal. No big losses, no big casualties. Everyone goes, it's so scary. Let's vote for Netanyahu, right? But when you give them so much money that they're able to arm themselves in such a way that they can carry out a horrendous attack like what happened on October 7th, then you're like, well, shit, the boogeyman's so big, I've got to basically commit genocide in order to rid any chance of the boogeyman happening. And then you become the boogeyman. So I think the biggest problem is in all of this is Likud. Likud, rather than fostering moderate and liberal groups inside of Palestinian territory, killed off all the opposition and basically funded the terrorist group that attacked them. And that's bad. And now they want to quash any dissent globally against anyone who like questions, their actions in Gaza, which have just been completely overboard. What happened on October 7th was horrendous. But murdering tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people is not the solution to that. The solution is, take care of the organization take out the organization that's in charge, and then you start rebuilding and presenting a way for opposition voices to then have power and lead. You should feed the good people and not the bad people. So that's the solution. And their solution is just kill everything. And that is a crime. And little kids in line begging for food shouldn't be sniped in the head. That's bad. That's a bad thing. I don't know what the solution is, but it's definitely not what's happening, for sure. I've got a bug flying around here. Trim the wall. Kill you. I got you. Oh, I did get you. All right. Okay. Where was I? That was that one. That's Flotilla's one. And Huge Unit says, I need money. Don't we all? Don't we all, Monkey? Wouldn't it be nice to have fat stacks in the account next week, huh? Yeah? And then we go Cataclysm Parish. We'll do that whole trip. See your grandparents or something. Yep. Doesn't that work? You're such a cutie patootie. You know that. Alexander K, happy birthday, Houston. Big day tomorrow. Let's hope, right? Let's hope big day. Monkey's hoping it's a big day. She's staring at me like, it's a big day. Is it a big day? I don't know if you can see her little face right there. Little nose just poking up. Big day tomorrow. Remember, Monkey, you don't get anything until somebody demands it. And Basat Baman, happy birthday, HW. I get a notification. I click. It say, not first. I am single man. Oh, I'm simple man. I'm single man. No, I'm simple man. I can also read. I can't read. I went to public school, Monkey. And Daniel Campbell. Funny how it mentioned Greg. You know what? Oh, it does have the number ones in here. They put it on the other side before. So I guess Greg is definitely Daniel is number one overall. It is funny they mentioned Greg as their thing, and then Greg immediately said that he's calling in sick. Huge Unit, can you use a credit card to exercise warrants? Happy birthday. I don't know. Most brokerages won't allow you to do that. I think some brokerages you can attach a debit card to like transfer money into your account and have it be sort of instant, faster than ACH. But I don't think you can do that with a credit card. Honestly, do you think they can do it with a credit card? I don't think you can do it with a credit card. You might be able to do some sort of cash advance and then pay a huge penalty for it. But beyond that, I don't think so. You were just antsy in the pantsy. You're so antsy in the pantsy. But no one's demanded anything yet, so you just get to remain antsy in the pantsy. How about this? I want to pet the cat. I want to pet the cat. What do you think about that? I'm petting the cat, and I'm reading the chat. Turkish, Hughes man, let's feed Monkey Butt some stanky treats. Well, there's the demand right there. Monkey Butt gets some stanky treats, right? Oh, look at that. Oh boy, huh? Oh, you do the happy dance? Are you doing the happy dance? Are you a happy little happy dancer? Huh? I'll give you that right there. Yeah. Stanky chicken. Okay. See, Turkish came through for you. You knew he would. You knew that he had the ability, right? Oh, still chewing? Yeah, that's a frothy chewing sounds. Got it? Never the next one? Can you get it? There you go. It's so hard for her to get up now, but she can't stand on her hind legs. She's like, ah. Yeah. Scott Pollan checking in from Jackson Hole. Went from Italy to Jackson Hole. Oh my goodness. Jay Bear, HW. Do you see GameStop's Halo 3 post with the player's name being Ice Cream? Crap. I just leave that page. Go there. Halo 3. Okay, we go back. Halo 3 post. Halo 3 launched 18 years ago. This is it. Scene. This is the video. And we're going to make the video big. Rocket race. Online. Finish the fight.
Halo 3. Midnight tonight. We're going right now to the grocery store to get all the junk food we can think of.
Jumping, little snacks. Snacking it up. Got the fuel.
I think there's going to be a big line. I'm not too sure. We're going to find out.
My way trying to get my phone.
That is
console, back of the car.
Many people
Waiting in line. Got dudes playing the music. Get it? Got it. Oh boy. Kid's name Ice Cream? Is that what it says? I don't know. Was it way back here? Oh, Ice Cream. Ice Cream stand right there at the beginning. I totally missed that part. Okay. Well, there you go. Ice Cream. Ice Cream. You scream. I scream. We all scream for ice cream. Interesting. Boom. Big Houston. Monkey butt? You got it, didn't you? Oh, you want more? You can't have more. Because no one demanded it. Scott Pollan didn't land any fish, but had some on the hook. Boomer. Polestar. More insane things signed by Trump today. ICE is going to be untouchable, unstoppable, and you can't criticize, film, take pictures, or these share apps for ICE activity. I mean, Trump can make all these executive orders he wants for these things, but the Constitution allows you to do such. So, fuck him. And his stupid little rules for his little Nazi Gestapo assholes. Film them, use your apps, yell at them, scream at them, you know, whatever. Who gives a shit? Because at least if you're in a blue state, I think the blue state's going to stick up for you for the most part on these things. And you're going to end up winning a buttload of money. The really violent ICE raid that happened at the car wash in LA, where they threw the 79-year-old American citizen to the ground and detained him and arrested a whole bunch of people that had work permits and were citizens, is now suing for $50 million, the U.S. government. He's going to win. He's going to win that because ICE is against the law for ICE to take actions against American citizens. That is not part of their purview. They are not allowed to do anything with American citizens, and yet they keep arresting American citizens. So fuck ICE. Fuck them. Another part of Houston's if I run for president platform, if I become president, every member of ICE is going to be stripped of their U.S. citizenship, put on a raft, and shoved out to sea, and then go live out there. So if you worked for ICE during any of this time, you're going to lose your citizenship for being an asshole, and we're going to stick you on a raft and shove you out to sea, so you know what your just desserts are. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to be floating forever. Just a bunch of dudes floating on a big raft hoping that some country will take you in, and they're not, because you're an asshole. So no one's gonna take you in. They're gonna be like, no. And they'll shove you back out to sea, and you're gonna float around some more, and that's what's gonna happen. So, yeah. Paul Couch, should we be having all the top military personnel in the same city, like Drunk Dude wants? No, absolutely not. Not even during World War II did we do this. The reason why the Joint Chiefs exists is because you have the members of all armed services, the tops of all armed services. You give them information, and then they spread it throughout the network there. That's the entire reason. So you don't get all of the military minds and powers in one space, and everyone who runs every base or every fleet on Earth in one spot. You don't do that. There's a reason why there's a chain of command, is because you use the chain of command to keep your military minds safe from being targeted. So no, it's a really dumb thing. I hope nothing happens, but it's really dumb and unsafe, and there's a reason why no one ever does that. I'm sure we'll have a whole bunch of colonels and captains suddenly finding themselves in charge of everything if that's what happens. But the problem is that they made a whole bunch of them, blackballed a whole bunch of them from promotion, because Hegseth's an asshole, doesn't want anyone of color or women to be in charge of anything. So he may accidentally end up with a whole bunch of folks he doesn't want in charge of things because they, have dark skin or a vagina. J Bear, more puzzles. I'm just tired, boss. Dog tired. Yeah, the puzzles make me sick. Just make an announcement already. Just put the money in people's accounts and we'll be good to go. Polestar is also tired. He says, fuck GameStop's Twitter. It's run by a guy who knows what SSs will cream themselves over. They don't know shit. Super Stonk? Super Stonk. Super Stonk. Okay. Making puzzles out of nothing. Thoughts on Costco no longer selling Xboxes? What do they know? I think Costco isn't selling Xboxes because they can't find, usually when Costco doesn't sell something, it's because they can't get a price that they want for it. We buy in bulk, give us this bulk rate, blah. And if they can't get it, they just don't sell it. I don't remember, a couple years ago, they went through a huge fight with Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola used to be the drink you'd get if you bought your $1.50 hot dog. And so they said, hey, Coca-Cola, we've got thousands of these locations around the world. We want a bulk price for our fountain machines. Give us a bulk price. And Coca-Cola's like, no. And they're like, well, fuck you. We'll go with Costco. We'll go with Pepsi. So Pepsi. So if you go to Costco now, you're stuck with a Pepsi. Pepsi, I'll be honest, is inferior to Coca-Cola. But, they gave them the bulk price. Same thing happened. Used to be the Costco American Express card. And American Express wanted to renegotiate the terms on the Costco card to something that was not favorable to Costco. And Costco's like, we'll get rid of you and we'll go with Visa or MasterCard, whoever it was they're with now. And because they got favorable terms with that group. So Costco's, they usually only kind of sell one thing. They might have their own store brand and then, the brand they sell. So you might get a store brand hot dog and then their top level hot dog. You might get one kind of basketball. You might get one kind of ibuprofen, and then you'll have the Costco brand ibuprofen. And that's basically what they do. So, for the size of the store, the number of products are actually fairly limited. You go to a Walmart, there might be 150,000 different product names and barcodes in that, SKUs they call them, in that store. In a similar size Costco, you might have 5,000, because they go out, they want a huge amount of bulk because they want to be able to sell just a shitload of dog food or whatever in their stores at all the stores across the planet. They want to do one big bulk order and get a screaming deal on it. And if you can't provide that, they'll go to the next one. And so they got some buyers out there that kind of do some questionable, shady stuff, because they want the high end things, right? They want you to be able to get diamond rings and whatnot. And so they a couple years ago, they had buyers go to South America and go to Rolex South America, like Rolex Peru or something, and say, hey, I want to buy a whole bunch of bulk Rolexes. What kind of price are you going to give me? And they got these third world prices. Talking Rolex watches that sell for $50,000 in the US, they picked up for $1,000 each per unit. And they brought all those Rolexes to the U.S. and started selling them at all their shops, all their big warehouses around the U.S. for really cheap. And Rolex sued the hell out of them and won. And they beat Walmart. They beat Costco because Costco was not an authorized retailer of Rolex, and them picking them up in the third world and doing a resale of it was like a violation of copyright, etc. And Costco lost. But it doesn't stop them from, trying to find like Oakley's or something like that they're an authorized resale for. So my guess is if they're not selling Xboxes right now, it's because they couldn't get a good bulk deal on Xboxes, and it's probably due to tariffs affecting it all. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens from there. Right, Floor Dog? You're just crawling under my legs today. Oh crap! The whole chat reset. Okay, did that one. Ice cream one. Did the couch one. Did puzzles. Xbox. Okay, Captain Jimmy Wilder. Hey, Houston. Do you know if you receive a GME warrant for every 10 shares in Fidelity Roth IRA account? You will. You will receive a warrant in any account you have, especially if it's with a big broker. There are crappy brokerages that may give you the cash equivalent. Leave those guys. They're terrible. Don't do any business with them. Although I did hear eToro today announce that they're going to be offering or giving the warrants to people and not a cash equivalent. I guess I had enough people complain wanting to leave their brokerage. They're like, we'll figure it out. And they figured it out. So good for them. So Daniel Campbell Q intro. You were right. Oriana Moscow, I love the shirt. So soothing. It is a nice shirt. Rayon. I like rayon. Rayon's a nice fabric, especially for being made of like pulverized trees, right? Video brand getting chat 8 minutes in. Let's go. Yes. Polestar. Pete's going to have them swear allegiance to him and Trump, and he needs the army to clean the country. That's probably another thing by having like, we want you all here, and we're going to make sure that you kill Americans for us. And I think probably if that's the case, there's going to be one or two decisions made there. One decision will be, yes, sir. And the other decision will be, this has gone too far. I don't know if you see right now in Ecuador, but it looks like the people in Ecuador are about to boot the president. And the military, kind of way it happens in a lot of third world countries, especially Ecuador, is if the people are really pissed off at the president and they're like, he's got to go, and they're amassing outside the palace, the military, like for a while, keeps them at bay, and eventually some colonel comes along and goes, all right, he's gone. And then they have a little junta for about 3 to 6 months, and then they have an election, and they get a new president in there. For being a seemingly disorganized developing country, it's kind of an organized system, and everyone kind of expects it that way. So my guess is if you end up with some sort of junta here in the U.S., that, our West Point and Annapolis trained leaders who would be taking over, they know what democracy is about, they know what the Constitution's about, and that they wouldn't become they don't want to lead a country. They want to be the warriors they're trained to be and to do that. And I think that if it came to a junta, they would be like, okay, we're going to have some sort of election or appointing somebody from Congress or something. They're going to be in charge, and we're just going to, disappear these guys, and we'll start over. And so I think that's if that's what Hegseth's looking for with having all these giant military leaders come to one spot, and he asks them to like, hey, you're going to help us like kill Americans. You're going to get one of those two options. The sir, yes, sir, or the no, this is over. We're done. So push comes to shove, be my guess on that. Oh, sorry, monkey. You can't stretch out if you're right there. Make it hard. Mr. JJ, are Japanese kitchen knife the best? Is ceramic much better for lazy chefs? Sharper than our German knives? I think sharpening your knife is the best thing you could possibly do for a knife. Because I've worked in kitchens and stuff, and using Japanese knives are fantastic if they've been sharpened. All knives get dull. You're cutting into stuff. It's chipping the blade at a microscopic level. If you're cutting through cutting through burnt bits, carbon has a higher hardness rating than steel. So as you break like the carbon at the top, it is still scouring the blade. So you just got to make sure everything's kept nice and sharp. If you're lazy, you're going to go for like a stainless steel blade. If you're cool, you get some expensive Japanese or German blade, and it's like folded Damascus steel or whatever, and then you put it on your whetstone and you polish it. But just, keeping your blade sharp is probably the most important thing with a knife. A great way to like waste time and zone out is watch videos where some guy goes to like a Goodwill and gets a rusty knife and then like restores it. Just stare at for like 8 minutes of like some guy sharpening a knife and polishing it. It is a fantastic way to just eat away time. I never used a ceramic knife, so I don't actually know what a ceramic knife is like. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. Colin, Jimmy volume was 91% short today. Yes. Polestar calls the double intro still happening? No, because I actually did double intro as the first intro, so it's off. BDW brand ceramic microchips into the food can't be sharpened. Oh, ceramic. We mean ceramic knives chip into the food and then can't be sharpened. Noted. I was like, ceramic microchips. I mean, all those microchips are made of ceramic. We're talking about ceramic knives, microchipping, like small chips into the food. There we go. Okay. Noted. Zuma got to do with the hub triple intro hype? No. Marc Lavallee. Bonjour from Alberta. Bonjour from the French quarter of Alberta. Timmy Buckeye has got his 8 balls going. Polestar. Hype Eve. I like that. And Polestar, however, it was a movie. Hype Eve is like Groundhog Day, living it over and over and over and over and over and over. Case Chapman, ownership change is defined generally as greater than 50% change in the ownership of stock among certain 5% shareholders. This happened when the shares were canceled and ownership went to the creditors. I've been excited about 930 for a while now, brother. Yeah, I mean, you can also look at the amount of shares that were exercised through the warrants that were given to Hudson Bay Capital, right? Because if Hudson Bay got 500, 600 million shares out of that, then there's definitely a change of ownership because there was only 90 to 100 million shares to begin with. Pull the mole hair and twist it like a guy, taxi cab driver in Taipei. Yeah, Casey, I like it. I like it a lot. Julius says, yo. Casey Chapman says, what up, Julius? And Julius says, waiting on tomorrow. And Neil says, if it goes down, Houston will be partying in Vegas with a pinky splinter. Splint. Yes, I will. Maybe if I can find a Vegas-themed splint. Maybe Dick's Halfway In has some sort of ace bandage wrap I can put on it. And Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. Starbucks announces more layoffs and store closures. Government might shut down. Unemployment delinquencies on the rise. Setting up for the perfect storm brewing. USA Q2 revised up 3.8% from 3.3, talking about the inflation, and how quick that happened when the Trump administration firing the prior economists, dumbest timeline ever. Yeah. Starbucks. Okay, so Starbucks had a problem where their stores, but they put stores everywhere, right? They're all over the world. They're across the street from each other. There's 2 of them next to each other. They're ubiquitous. They're like grains of sand on a beach. And their growth was insane through the 90s, 2000s, etc. They had a model which was cozy, accommodating, welcoming, stay all day if you like. They sold their little like CDs of Starbucks music for like, people with no personality. And it worked. People would go and they'd sit and they'd type on their little keyboards and they would see the same person every day, and they'd drink their tea all afternoon, and folks would come in and rush and get their quick coffee to go. And it was a system that worked. And then they tried to go corporate generic. And the corporate generic was like, no, you can't stay here all day. No, you can't use our bathroom. Get the fuck out. Get your coffee. And they went to like lots of drive-through. Everything was welcoming. And business went down. Because you could still go to the local coffee shop and do the things that Starbucks offered previously. The Starbucks kind of championed previously. And now their new CEO, who's making $100 million a year and refuses to live in Seattle, which is where Starbucks is based, and has to like private jet in all the time to do his job. Rather than see that the problem is Starbucks is less welcoming than it was before, is now like, we're going to like cut the workforce, or we're going to cut away the fat. And what they're going to discover is that revenue is going to collapse incredibly, which is going to bring the stock price down a whole bunch. This is what happened to GameStop, right? GameStop closed all sorts of stores, sold off international retailers, and they got hit hard. Even though they were like, they cut the fat and they're making profit, the potential for growth wasn't there, and the revenue was way down, and so they just kept hammering the stock. Same thing's going to happen to Starbucks. Is they're going to lay people off. They're going to close stores. They're going to see revenue slip incredibly, right? Because what happens with a lot of these shops is oh, my Starbucks closed. Well, where am I going to get coffee? To the next closest spot, which is, the shop a block away. If you're lucky, it's a Starbucks that's a block away. If you're not, it's the mom and pop shop that's a block away, and they're going to get the business. And they're going to discover that the coffee's better. That's the worst thing, is that you don't want to chase people away to discover that the coffee at the mom and pop shop in the local roaster is way better than the burnt garbage that you get at Starbucks. And that the people are friendlier, and that you can use their bathroom, and you can sit there all day if you want to. You can meet people and like have a conversation, and they got couches and it's comfy. So I think this is a bad move for Starbucks, that instead of closing stores, they should be reverting back to what made them successful. The whole making fast food places wholly generic is a bummer. Like, you don't see Funlands at McDonald's anymore with like, the goofy fiberglass hamburger you climb into, or the, Fun Forest stuff. Because if that place goes out of business, the real estate still has to go to someone. So if you make it as generic as possible, people don't. You used to be able to recognize a Pizza Hut anywhere because they all have the exact same roof, right? And then when the Pizza Hut went out of business and a new business moved into that building, people would say, like, oh, that dentist is in the old Pizza Hut. And everyone knows what you're talking about, right? My friend Dean, who has that delicious restaurant in Hilo, the White Guava Cafe, he is in the old Pizza Hut, the Pizza Hut that gave me salmonella. That's where his restaurant is. And people go, oh, have you been to White Guava Cafe? It's like, no, it's in the old Pizza Hut at Quantico. They go, oh, okay, I'll try it. And that's how they identify it. It will always be the old Pizza Hut, unless they do some sort of drastic renovation on the building. So you now have these generic buildings that could be anything. The McDonald's moves out, something else moves in, and there's no like, oh, it's the old McDonald's, because it doesn't look like an old McDonald's. So Starbucks used to have something that was unique, and now they don't, and that's the problem. They are generic, and everyone sees them as generic and evil, and then they do generic and evil things, and oh well. Oopsie poopsie. Nathan Scott. Nice you have fam in New Orleans. Mom and dad live there. I'll be flying to New Orleans and visiting there and hopping over to Biloxi. I can visit your sis for you. Oh, sure. That's not ominous. Yeah, but my sister, the one that's in the Navy, the captain of the Navy, she was stationed in Biloxi for a while. I didn't really get down there for that, but she was there when Katrina hit. So I think I might have told this story, but I was going to school in Hawaii. So I was in, because Hawaii's classes start in early August. So I was already like taking classes, and I was talking on the phone and like, hey, how are things going? And she was training for the San Francisco Marathon at the time. And she had told me, she's like, well, it's gross. Everything here is gross. It's 7. I went running at 7 a.m. It was 91 degrees outside, and there was dew on the ground. And then like 5 days later, Katrina hit. And they evacuated everybody from Biloxi to some base in Georgia. So she spent like weeks in Georgia going, well, I don't know what I'm going to do, because apparently Biloxi's been wiped out and there's no spot for us. So I think then she got transferred back to the Northwest after that. But yeah. Just maybe says Comey indicted. Screw him. I don't think anything's going to happen to Comey personally. It's going to get tossed by a judge. Most likely, that's what everything is happening in DC courts. The judges go, no, get out of here, with all the charges being brought. Something like 30 or 40% of all charges brought by the DOJ in DC Circuit Court have been tossed with prejudice. So, yeah. Frozen Productions, did you see the Charlie Kirk video that shows the shot entering right side of his head and exits his neck? Autopsy would nullify any FBI narrative. I have not seen that. All I saw is the hole in the neck. I did not see anything hit the head. You're saying it like went this way and out? Or I guess this way and out? I've not seen that. Nathan Scott says we all should meet in New Orleans for some oysters, crawfish, and red beans and rice. That works for me. Daniel Campbell, government shutdown equals mass firings. Yes. And says that's bad for Trump. Yep. And everything Trump is bad. Yes. Frozen Productions, can you identify any time period when the FBI was legit? Not Hoover, not Patel. I think the post-Hoover era, probably late 70s through at least the Obama era, the FBI was doing a good job. They were diversifying the workforce because all Hoover wanted was white, straight Christian men. And that's what he got. And it hindered the ability to do investigations otherwise, because how are you supposed to investigate lots of people if you only have a bunch of crew-cut white dudes coming in? They go, that guy's a narc, right? And so it allowed, diversification made them much more effective. I think the attention paid on white supremacists after the Oklahoma City bombing probably did wonders for the nation as a whole. It really cut back on a lot of the out and proud white supremacists that you saw, because they're getting busted for all sorts of crimes. And I think that was a good thing. I think the FBI has been weakened in a way that even Hoover would be like, what the fuck is going on? In such a way with this group, because they're removing investigatory power. They're doing a really shit job with chain of custody for evidence, possible fabrication evidence, posting evidence. Like, you're not supposed to post evidence to the internet for the entire world to see, because it taints a trial. You want to keep things that are evidential quiet so that, you can't have the defense all of a sudden be like, hey, they tainted the jury pool. We can't get a fair trial. We'll toss it. And the courts go, yeah, we have to, right? Or this evidence can't be admissible. And all of a sudden, what would be your slam dunk piece of evidence can't come in court, and you can't get a conviction. So, yeah, this is probably the dumbest time for the FBI we've ever had, for sure. Hansel Vanderlei, anyone notice MMTLP stock has never been resolved? It has not been resolved. And I think the MMTLP folks, the Nashbreak folks, need to be doing more in court to get things like that resolved. I expect more from them. And Julia says, small victories in court, but no resolution yet. Yeah, small victories for sure. Frozen Productions' next PP show is October 2nd. All right. Well, hopefully something cool happens then. Oh, Giga Shukla sent a super chat. Any thoughts on salt-based batteries? There are some really cool salt-based batteries out there. The coolest one I ever saw is 11 years old now, was the Bosch Quant eSport limousine. I think I may have shown this one before. Bosch Quant eSport limousine. This was a car, 900 horsepower, basically used salt water as power. It's like, I say salt water, it's like a Gatorade basically as power. And nano flow cell drive. and you basically just fill up on water with some salts in it, and you go. This is literally 11 years old. So here's the Quant Esport limousine. That's not the pictures of it. That's sort of, well, there, maybe that's the video. There we go. So they went to Iceland, filmed it driving around, and with the Geneva show in 2014. It's a cool car, and it you know, no toxicity. What it basically had was two salts and it different electrical properties in a membrane. So electrons would flow from one to the other through the membrane, and that was the electricity that generated from the car. And absolutely brilliant technology. Get 300 miles to the gallon, 900 horsepower. Sorry, 300 miles to the tank, 900 horsepower, and no poisons whatsoever. You just fill it up with more water. And yeah, I don't know why nano flow cell isn't everywhere. It seemed like this was a pretty good proof of concept. My guess is that they got, you know, shut down by big oil or something. Here's the here it is in action up there in Iceland. Riding the ferries. That's a pretty cool looking car. That's right, homie. Get off that boat. Doesn't make any vroom noise either because it's a battery membrane, basically a fuel cell membrane. So, yay, Iceland. 920 horsepower. And you don't have to do charging. You literally just dump a bunch of water into the tank with some salts. You're good to go again. So you probably can just mix it yourself. In the end, you get a bag of salts, like you mix your Gatorade, and you just dump a bunch of water in there, throw your salts in, and you're good to go after that. There was thoughts that you could actually use seawater and the sodium salts from that. 600 volt operating system when Tesla's having a hard time doing 48 volts. Right? This ad's so weird. And the purity. I've done that. Oh, now we're in Monaco. Doing the Formula 1 route. So, you know, salt water. Isn't that neat? So why don't we do this? It works. It's a drivable car. You don't need gas. You can just have your Bosch eSport limousine powered by ionic liquid, which is just water with basically salts in it. So, do that, right? Whatever, yo. Where was I? Did Vandalay Tom's Octable intro? No. David Wright, like the raft of Medusa. Love it. Yeah. Just shove them out to sea. Hopefully they beach in Cuba. Pack them up South Florida and then shove them Cuba's direction and see what happens. Polestar, not even some businesses allow their CEOs, leaders in the same place, but the U.S. Army is doing this. Not just U.S. Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy, maybe even Coast Guard, Space Force. They're all going to be in one spot. Hazel A, could Adam Aaron be in the Epstein files? I have no idea. He did get busted trying to get with what he thought was an underage ballerina. So, It's a factory. As a local MTG expert, the Spider-Man MTG set being released tomorrow is trash outside of a few cards. Noted. I don't know anything about those things. And David Copperfield's rumored to be in the Epstein files. David Copperfield also had numerous charges that never stuck, where he would take women to his private islands in the Bahamas and then do horrible things to them. So, yeah. Eagle Moan, Starbucks is the herpes of coffee shops. Agreed. And Denny Campbell, Houston. I joined your Pyro Referral team a while back. When you posted a link, I try to hit that mine button every day. I got KYC as well. Excellent. What is I haven't checked in a long time what Pi Network price? Probably like 5 cents just to screw me over. 26 cents. Well, shit. Remember when it was $180 right before mainnet? So people who somehow got their coins off mainnet or selling futures made so much money. Oh my gosh. I would love to have sold my 9,000 coins for $180. Oh well. Maybe someday Pi Network will do its thing. It's free money just by hitting a button once a day, whatever. Oh, I gotta get going. So Dad Campbell's out, he's gotta go as well. And I do too. So dog, cat, everybody. Have a great day. I'll catch you sometime tomorrow. And we'll see if the hype date hypes, right? All right. Boom.